let's start with that reporter. You gave what for, I believe is the expression. And by the way, absolutely deservedly. I don't even understand the idea that a reporter that was obviously that poorly prepared and frankly not in tune with much of anything in Washington, D.C., could address you the way she did in the tone she did. Your reaction?
Well, I actually don't think that she was poorly prepared. I think that that's their narrative, and they're used to Republicans just kind of running for cover anytime that there are questions. Well, what evidence do you have? And then you're supposed to say, well, we really don't have any. We have a mountain of evidence. We're swimming. We're drowning in evidence. And of course, their job, their mission is to run interference for the Biden family. The mainstream media, as you know, left is the communications team for the left, the Democrat Party in particular. And so she was totally prepared. That's exactly the question she wanted to ask. And I just don't think she was used to the response, because let's face it, you've got a lot of establishment types that will run for cover. Of course, they will never even make the charge that there's any evidence whatsoever, but they're certainly not going to go defend their own position. Meanwhile, we've spent months poring over evidence that normal people just don't have surrounding them. And, so I think she was kind of maybe even taken aback that anybody even rejected her claim.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I also think that the country right now, I think, owes a great debt of gratitude to the investigating committees. What James Comer's committee and Jim Jordan's committee and Jason Smith's committee, what has been turned up here it paints an entirely different picture of Joe Biden than most people, that is, most voters had in their minds. This is a man, we're talking about tens of millions of dollars changing hands. We're talking about 30 LLCs. It's just ridiculous to think.
All the 170 suspicious activity reports. Most people would be mortified if they knew that the Treasury Department had one suspicious activity report lodged against them. And I would say that, Comer, Jordan, Smith, they've been investigated, daylighting all this stuff. The mainstream press doesn't want to report on it, won't report on it, and then won't report on it in the true light and fashion that it is. And let me also say this, because I'm familiar with all these things. None of this stuff has come to us easily from the very organizations. You think about institutions like the IRS or the FBI that should give this information over willingly because the Congress, the American people asked for it. We've had to fight and claw for it tooth and nail. And we know they haven't given it all to us. They just continue to resist. And this is what we do know about. What in the world don't we know about? And understand, we've had to turn over every rock. It's not like they've offered a thing. And certainly the Biden family, you can understand why they don't want to give over the information that's going to show them complicit in their own criminal activity. But you would think even at least the government and especially investigative agencies like the IRS and like the FBI would be eager to turn this information over, get that political monkey off their back. Yet they're running cover for the Biden family as well.
Absolutely. I've never seen the likes of it in the time in which I have been covering Washington, D.C., and that's a fair piece, as they say.
Yeah.
There's nothing like the protection at any time in any administration that's been given to it by the Secret Service, by the FBI, by the so-called deep state. It's really an outrage, and it's you can I guess point to the bureaucracy as the problem, but it's really not the problem. But it's part of the cover-up without any question at all. The Secret Service.
It is part of it is part of the problem. It is part of the cover-up. Just think about this: Hunter Biden got the Secret Service trying to interfere on his behalf regarding this illegally purchased weapon when his father wasn't even in elected office. Hunter's never been elected to anything. Who do you know? What citizen do you know that fouls something up, whether intentionally or unintentionally, and has the Secret Service come and run cover for them, and then try and cover it up afterwards, and then the press doesn't report on it. And if they do, they somehow make it our fault that the Secret Service, it's our fault for even questioning the Secret Service for doing this. The rest of us would be frog marched to jail, Lou.
Absolutely. And this week, Hunter Biden finally a trial over his gun and falsely sworn statement that he was not a drug addict. It's taken we're in the 6th year now. It took 6 years to get him to court. And people tell us, no one's above the law. Well, as best I can tell, after a quick reading of the charges against those members of the Biden family, not one of them has ever been incarcerated. And it's taken, in this instance, 5-6 years to get the man to trial. And the guy, by the way, who is charging him now was the guy defending him for 5 years, David Weiss, the former U.S. attorney. I mean, you can't make it up.
This is the same crew that put together the great plea deal that the judge kind of, unfortunately for them, the judge read through and said, hold on a second. No one gets exonerated of everything they've ever done in their whole life that might be illegal. And we're not going to stand for this. And then, of course, the prosecutor said, oh, hold on. OK, we'll do it right now. And now you can trust us. Unfortunately, This administration and the left has shredded any thought, any notion that there was an equal and fair justice system for all, and that it had nothing to do with who you are, who you know, your station in life. Now we all know that if you're connected to the political East or the political elites on the coast, especially the Democrats, particularly the Democrats, that you've got nothing to worry about. On the other hand, if somebody named Trump had done this, they probably wouldn't even have to be related to Donald Trump. If they had done anything like this, they'd have thrown the key away a long time ago, and that person would be probably serving a life sentence for some kind of paperwork error.
Or they'd make some special exception for a capital offense, and they would be waiting on death row to learn their fate. I mean, it is horrible. I do see some change in the courts. We're seeing in Florida with Eileen Cannon, the federal district court judge there. She is holding everyone to account. Jack Smith questioning clearly whether or not he's even lawfully, legitimately a special counsel. And Ed Meese pointed out long ago in a friend of the court brief that he's illegally in that post, and it looks like he may have a chance to be proved right. Your thoughts as we wrap up here?
Well, I think that he might be right about that. Understand, the Senate didn't appoint this guy, and there's been no oversight. He's got an unlimited scope that he can look into over one person. Again, he's not investigating a crime. He's investigating a person. Those are things of the Soviet Union. And of course, our Constitution does not provide for any of that. And I think that the judge is right to question that. What jurisdiction? Where did this even come from? And of course, the Democrats, they're always great at overstepping their bounds and then apologizing and asking forgiveness after the fact. But unfortunately, Lou, as you know this, someone's reputation and life potentially is on the line here, at least the rest of their life free in America. And so this is nothing to be trifled with. We need to know that we've gotten this right. And it appears to me that we really haven't gotten it right.
No. Perhaps there's a beginning here. Congressman Scott Perry, always good to talk with you. Thanks so much. God bless you.
Thank you, Lou. God bless you as well. Be safe.